da 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 da. Bum 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 ba dum bum 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 ba dum bum bum. Time to be depressed. Oh, I forgot all about this remix. If I check the body mode 30, maybe I'll find out if it's Kyoko or not. These nails, bro. I'm not fucking with them. Huh? There's something weird about the body's fingernails. Oh, these are fake nails. They're really long. They seem like they get in the way of normal activity. Fake nails. There's also something on the back of the hand. Is it a tattoo? It got burnt, so I can't make out the whole thing. It looks like a picture of a dog or something. I've never seen like it before. Tattoo on the right hand. It looks like a wolf. The breastitis. The upper half of the body got set on fire in the explosion, so it's totally blackened. On the top of the body is wet. Obviously, it's gonna be wet, Makoto. The fact community. Time to leave this one. Leave that community. Alright. No communities. Let's delete this though. Boom, boom, boom. Alright. We're chilling. That's because it got set on fire and I threw water on it. Since I only threw water on the part that was on fire, the top half, the bottom is still dry. In other words, there's nothing strange about the top half being wet. There isn't, right? Okay. What about here? What's so special about here? The white jacket the victim was wearing totally got burnt up. White jacket? Excuse me? There's only one piece left. The lower half of the body didn't get wet at all. After the body blew up, the top half got set on fire, so I dumped a bucket of water on it, which explains why the bottom half isn't wet. There's nothing strange about that, right? Well, I guess that's it. That's another body, yeah. Got a knife. There's a knife laying on the ground. Is this? It must be the knife that was stuck in the body before it exploded. The force of the explosion must have thrown it over here. The Monokuma found said the knife went all the way into the body from front to... Jesus, that is a long knife. Does that mean this knife is what caused the fatal injury? Either way, this knife... It looks really familiar. Wait, is this... Yes. That's it! It's the knife the person was holding! This is getting really weird. There's just too many strange coincidences. Whoever the person in the mask was that attacked me last night, they were holding that knife. And the same knife was used to stab that same masked attacker we found here. So, maybe this masked person got stabbed because... when they attacked, I was in a kind of trance. Maybe I reacted by grabbing the knife. And maybe then and if this really is Kyoko, it would mean Kyoko is the one that attacked me. But why the mask? I just don't know. I don't remember anything clearly from last night. No, I can't be. There's no way. Yeah. What are these, like charred remains? These look like fragments of something. What the fuck? They're all burnt, so I really can't be sure. I feel like I've seen this before. But where? Wait, was it there? I'll have to double check that later. What do you mean there, Makoto? Nigga, fuck you. Oh, let's check the tool shed, see if there's like something missing. No, everything's here. Oh, but is this a tarp? Wait, was there a tarp in here before? I should probably take a look into it. It could be related to the case. The top is wet and covered with mud and grime. Then the underside is totally clean and completely dry. One side of the tarp is wet and dry. Something about that bothers me. There's nothing else here, right? The chicken coop. Oh, there's one missing?
Yo!
What's going on, Makoto? Oh, I'm glad you're here. Listen, do you remember how many chickens there were in here? Of course, there were precisely 5. Yeah, right?
Huh?
What's wrong? There's only 4 chickens here now. We're 1 short. Ah! That's so weird. I wonder when it disappeared.
What?
I was down here just before nighttime last night, and there were definitely 5 chickens then.
What?
What are we gonna do? Going from 5 to 4 is gonna have an impact on the structure of the world.
Conspiracy!
It's like a jigsaw puzzle. Even if if even a single piece disappears, the entire world will remain unfinished. I admit I did my best to ignore what Hiro and focus on the problem at hand. Why did one of the chickens disappear? Could it be related to the case? Missing chicken. Oh, no. Oh, the thermostat, or whatever the fuck, the sprinklers. This is the panel that controls the sprinklers. They said they're set to turn on 7:30 every morning, and Monokuma said the time positively could not be changed. Huh? Hold on. So the sprinklers turn on at 7:30 each morning, right? Then, if the body was here before then, the sprinklers should have gotten it wet, which would mean that the murder must have taken place. Let's check if Toko's okay. So, who does the body belong to? Whoever it is, I'm not gonna look. I don't want to faint anymore. Okay. Hina? Listen, Makoto, do you remember how the body looked? You know, before it blew up? If I remember right, it was wearing some kind of mask and a big white coat. There was a knife sticking out of the stomach, and the area around it was stained with blood. Apparently, the wound had stopped bleeding, but the blood on the body was still wet. Byakuya said not to touch it to avoid getting all bloody. But for how much blood there was on the body, I don't see any on the ground around it.
Okay.
Wow, thanks. That was a big help. Now that you explained it, I totally remember how it looked. Well, having to talk about it like that helped me remember it a lot too. So, thank you too. Byakuya, what do you have to say? Good timing, Makoto. I wanted to talk to you. What do you want to talk about?
So, in other words...
I'd like to hear your alibi. Alibi?
In other words...
Correct. I'd love to hear where you were after nighttime began last night. Well, I was sick, so I was asleep all night. But why are you asking about that now? And what's nighttime got to do with it?
Naturally.
Isn't it obvious? The murder took place after nighttime. How can you know that for sure? Because just after nighttime, I came to the garden. I was going around looking for everyone so I could tell them about Monokuma. Hiro's been spending most of his time in the garden the last few days, so I figured he'd be here. And I can confirm that when I arrived last night, there was no body here.
In other words...
So the murder could have only taken place at some point during nighttime, after I left the garden. However, Toko, Hiro, Hina, and I were in the gym together the entire night last night. What? Once I found Hiro in the garden, we immediately went to Toko and Hina's rooms to get them. At that point, we all went to the gym and began dismantling Monokuma. As a precaution, we made sure not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. In other words, all 4 of us have airtight alibis. The only ones who don't have alibis are me and Kyoko.
That's right.
And if the victim really is Kyoko, then I'm the only one without an alibi. Also, when we went to go get Hina and Toko, we stopped by your room as well.
What?
But you never came to the door, so where precisely were you? I'm telling the truth, I was in my room, but I was dead asleep. I had a fever, so... That's hardly an alibi. I know. So, what now? You seem to be at quite the disadvantage here. I'm the only one without an alibi. That's really bad, isn't it? Alright. What do you have to say, Hiro? It's 11 o'clock right now. Okay, and...
You're serious?
Oh, well, I was just thinking about when we first found the body. When the body was found, huh? I should take a look back at what I did this morning to help me remember when that was. Monokuma's announcement woke me up at 7 o'clock as usual. and I headed for the dining hall pretty soon. Met up with Hina. That was right around 7:30. Then I headed to the gym where everyone else was waiting. Next, Toko went to get the pickaxe, and that's when she found the body. What time was it then? Now then, Toko, what time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock, so it's probably 9 on the dot now. That's right. It'd have to have been right around 9 o'clock.
You know?
Ah, now that you mention it, I think you're right. So I think we can say for sure the body was found at 9 a.m. Okay, my job's done. That's a pretty small job. When the body was found. I think I've checked everything I need to in this area, but I'm not done yet. There's other areas I need to check. Especially that fragment I found before, or specifically. There's somewhere I need to go in order to confirm my suspicion. All I need to do is find out more about Kyoko. Is that corpse really Kyoko? If that's true... Was that also Kyoko who attacked me last night? If I can find out more about her, maybe I can answer that question. Kyoko was never the kind of person to talk about herself all that much. Maybe I can get into her room. If I can get into her room, I'll be able to find out more. Get the key to her room.
It's all clear now.
Well, I will simply limit your options. I can't allow you to engage in any further suspicious activity. Limit my options?
Just give up.
Give me your room key. Hey, Byakuya? If you do come up with an alibi, I'd be happy to hear it later at the class trial. Oh no, that's not about that. You have the key to Kyoko's room, right? I was hoping I could borrow it. I'm afraid I can't take that risk. You're the prime suspect after all. Of course, if I were to go with you, that would be a different story. Then, will you go with me? Sorry, I have my own agenda to take care of. Find me again later, and we'll see.
Goodbye.
Depending on my mood, I may go with you, or I may not. Come back later, huh? Okay then, in the meantime I should look around somewhere else. Maybe I should check out that one area. Is he talking about the gym? I feel like he's talking about the gym. I probably could've, maybe it was the bomb? I don't know. Maybe the biology lab? Or here? it wouldn't hurt to not check the bio lab. Still locked. I guess I may as well just go around every other room. Where is it that I need to check? Is it the gym? I don't think I need to check the data center. Where is he talking about though? There's only one place that I think about and that's the gym. If the dismantled Monokuma is even there. Where does that piece lead into? I hate how this game wants to be so fucking cryptic. Dismantled Monokuma, please still be there. Yes! Monokuma's laying dismantled on the floor, but I figured it would be here.
You know?
Yes! Let's fucking go, okay. I found something. What is it? It's one. A bomb. There's one installed in every Monokuma robot, I'm sure.
What?
Bomb? That bomb went missing. There's no doubt that the fragments I found in the garden. There we go. Fragments of the dead body. Okay, I've checked everything I need. Everyone else I can think of. All that's left now is Kyoko's room. I should head back to the garden and ask Byakuya. Ah, piss. I forgot to turn off my notifications. Byakuya, please be a dear, would you? You think you can go soon, Byakuya?
Let's go.
You wanted to check out Kyoko's room, right? Very well, let's go. Ah, wait for me! Byakuya walked off without a second glance, and then I hurried after him on the way to our dorms. Okay. I can't even look at myself any bitch. Well then, here we go. Byakuya took the key out of it, took out the key and slid it into the keyhole, and then and it's open. Looks like it. Thanks. What does Kyoko even have in her room? Absolutely nothing. So this is Kyoko's room. It's pretty bare bones. There's something on the table. It's a wood block decoration.
What?
What's that? What purpose does it serve? I think it's probably a key. The lockers at those really traditional public bathhouses use them for their lockers. I wouldn't know. I've never gone to a public bathhouse. That doesn't surprise me. It's hard to picture Byakuya doing something like that.
It's certainly possible.
But if it is a key, I think I might know what it unlocks. Really? What? Unless I'm mistaken. I'm pretty sure I saw something in the... Yeah, there we go. The dojo. Wood block key. Let's check here to see if there's anything. I can't check there? Why can't I check there? Think about them. She might have certain articles hanging up to dry and better. Excuse me? Oh, talking about clothes. Under the mattress, maybe? Here's your bed. I don't see anything interesting here, at least not as far as the case is concerned. What could I possibly... Oh, nigga, go to the restroom. I don't give a fuck if she's got her fucking undies out to fucking dry, nigga. You better go fucking in there.
What?
You wanted to come here, right? So what is it you're looking for? Nothing in particular, I just thought we might find some kind of clue here. A clue that might help us understand Kyoko.
Come on.
You can't be serious. That's why you made me take my time out of my search to come here? Sorry. Regardless, if you plan on poking around at random, you're doomed no matter how much time you take. Surely you have something more concrete, something to give us some sort of direction here. More concrete. Oh, I know. Earlier, Kyoko gave me something. Huh? What's this?
It's true.
Consider it a symbol of my determination. Don't open it yet. Only open it if something ever happens to me. I'm sure I have it here somewhere. Found it. What's in the envelope? Kyoko gave it to me. She said if something ever happened to her, I should open it. Well,
Interesting.
something certainly has happened, so open it. Okay. I opened the envelope and looked inside. It was a single piece of paper. Under the sheets?
What?
That's all it says? That's all that was there? Yeah, it looks like it. Under the sheets, what could it be? Was Nakama away? But can something be hidden under the bed sheets? Part of me didn't expect to find anything, but as soon as I lifted up the sheets... What's this? I found a crumpled up piece of paper. Oh. Class number 78 student registry. Mokuro Ikusaba?
I see.
It appears to be Mokuro Ikusaba's profile. Yeah, it looks like it. That's probably the other thing Kyoko stole when she snuck into the headmaster's room along with the key. God, you're so annoying. Fine, I'll tell you. It was a key and blank. That's it. 6 letters, right? That was 6 letters, right? 6 letters. That must be the blank that Monokuma was talking about. Kyoko said a death without meaning is unappealing, and this is what she left behind. I don't have time for your sentimental indulgences. Hurry up and finish your search. Okay. I made an effort to pull myself together, and when I looked down at the profile sheet... named Mukuro Ikusaba, sex female, the ultimate soldier. Although small for her age, she was a military specialist trained in every weapon type of Jesus have mercy. She showed an interest in the military from childhood and soon found herself completely absorbed in it. In elementary school, she won a survival game tournament and began writing for military magazines. Just before entering middle school, while she and her family were on vacation in Europe, she disappeared. The story of a young Japanese girl being kidnapped quickly took over Japanese media outlets. An intense international investigation turned up no information, and she was never found. However, she reappeared in Japan 3 years later alone and completely unannounced. She revealed that she had joined a mercenary group known as Fenrir for those 3 years. She insisted that she hadn't been kidnapped, that she had received battle training of her own volition. However, she never revealed why she decided to return to home when she did. Mukuro's profile. An ultimate soldier, a mercenary girl. That doesn't feel real. The world I grew up in, it's like a completely different dimension. It's like one non-fiction and the other one's sci-fi. There's no way to even compare the two. That's how different this is. That's how I saw things just as an ordinary person, but then
I see.
I never. Huh? You recognize it?
Naturally.
The Fenrir mercenary groups is a collection of battle-crazed warmongers. But they do have their uses. They always get the job done. That's worth remembering. That's all the what is it? This all part of a world totally removed from the world I live in. I have to say I'm intrigued. Every rumor I've heard says that Fenrir has already
Found it.
Whoa, I feel like our hero is becoming a bit player, and a bit player is becoming our hero. Ooh. Ah, it's you.
What?
Have you gotten in your pretty little hand there? What have you gotten in your pretty little hand there? Uh-oh, you found her profile? Oh, piss. So what if we did?
Hey.
Don't freak out on me.
Now.
I'm not gonna hold it against you or anything. And in case you're wondering, I don't hold it against Kyoko either, even though she stole it and hid it. After all, there's no rule against stealing, is there? But who I can't forget is Miss Ogami, who broke the rules and busted into the headmaster's room. Maybe I'll drag her corpse out here and slice it up and devour it. Bears are omnivores, you know.
What?
Are rule violations really so unforgivable? You're quite adamant about those regulations of yours. Of course I am. A proper school life is built on the dedication to organization and order. Which is why even I, as a school headmaster, have to follow regulations myself. Oh, so you're saying you have to follow your own rules as well?
Of course.
Absolutely. I can't have you complaining about how unfair it is. How unfair it all is. Unfair it all is. Now can I? In fact, it's on the subject of fairness. Would you like to know something interesting? Interesting? It's about the one writing all the rules. They're actually one of the participants in this killing game. I don't think I've ever actually told you about how many participants there actually were, did I? I was thinking I should probably clarify that.
Hey,
When you all first got here in the main hallway back when, there were 15 people there, right? I think that first meeting may have led to a little misunderstanding among you all. Misunderstanding? Are you saying...
in other words...
That's right! There weren't actually 15 of you!
Yes, indeed!
The total number of students taking part in this killing game was actually 16! 16? Then...
Mukuro Ikusaba, the 16th student, lying hidden somewhere in this school. The one they call the ultimate despair. Watch out for her.
The 16th student, Mukuro Ikusaba. She's part of this school life. So the one making all the regulations is...
Why?
Huh?
Did you say something? Why are you telling us this? Oh, well, because... Like I told you, this killing game is desperately popular. Wouldn't you believe the ratings? And since we've got so many viewers now, I wanted to make sure everyone was on the same page. I don't want to wake up to a hurricane of complaints and hate mail, you know?
Yes, indeed.
Makes sense?
Well, now.
Okay, that's all you get for now. Oh, actually, I do have some revenge to get, so I have an extra bonus for you. Revenge? I want to get back at that sneaky Miss Kitty Giddy, so I'm gonna share a little secret with you. Seriously?
Hey,
You know she wears that stupid gloves all day in and day out? All the time? Well, don't tell anyone I told you, but... she wears them to uncover a bunch of hideous scars that she doesn't want anyone else to see. Someone knock? What? Okay, now that's all you get. Thanks. Hideous scars? I wonder what... whatever. Monokuma's account. Why do we have to get Monokuma's account? Kyoko wears those gloves to cover a bunch of scars? Wait, so on the back of her hand... Wait, but no. Monokuma specifically said they were scars, right? And that's why Kyoko wears those gloves, to hide the scars. Which means... those fake nails on the corpse... Are you thinking about Kyoko again? Huh?
What?
Forget about her. What matters right now is uncovering Monokuma's trap. His trap?
Such ignorance.
God must really hated you to make you so dull. Don't remember what Monokuma just told us? He said there were 16 students, right? Which means Mukuro was a student here. Obviously, Monokuma was trying to tell us that Mukuro is the one creating the rules of the game. But why would he tell us that, and why now? He said he wanted to make things clear so there wouldn't be any complaints later. But the mere fact he said that proves that Mukuro is connected to this case. That's why Monokuma revealed the existence of the 16th student. He needs to make our investigation fair. Mukuro is related to this case?
It's certainly possible.
Perhaps she's the one that killed Kyoko. What? That would explain why we would have to have a class trial, wouldn't it? If she's a student and she killed someone, that would make her part of the killing game. Mukuro is the killer? She killed Kyoko? Anyone should be able to come to that conclusion, don't you think? In fact, that's exactly what I thought when the investigation first began.
What?
But based on what Monokuma just told us, I've changed my mind.
It's all clear now.
Mukuro Ikosaba isn't the culprit. Huh? What makes you say that? We thought Mukuro, the ultimate despair, was the mastermind's true identity. But if that's true, Monokuma's behavior makes no sense. Why would the mastermind go out of their way to reveal themselves to us? That's a good point.
So, in other words...
Mukuro giving us information that would raise questions about her would be bold, to say the least. But it makes more sense to assume that Mukuro isn't the culprit. So that's the trap. They want us to suspect Mukuro and come to the wrong conclusion. That's what makes sense to me. The way you say it, it definitely does seem possible, but if that's really true... Excuse me. If Mukuro isn't the killer, then who is? Well then, I believe our work here is finished. Let's move on. I'm sure there are other places in need of investigation. I should find out if that key and the dojo really are connected.
Let's go.
Well, are you coming? I'm gonna go pee. Alright. Yeah, the room key, number 6. There are wooden lockers here. They use wood blocks. It looks like the key we found in Kyoko's room really does go to one of these lockers.
I see.
Makoto, do you see the locker farthest to the right?
Very strange.
That's the only one that doesn't have a key in it at the moment. You understand what that means, right? I should probably use the key we found on that locker, right?
That's right.
Well, just try it. Okay. I took out the wood block key and inserted it into the locker's metal lock and click. The locker eagerly accepted the key and opened. There are arrows in here, and it looks like 10 arrows in total. Is that blood? They look like they're made of titanium, which means they're quite strong despite how thin they are. Of course, without a bow, they're nothing but strong little sticks. Strong sticks. Titanium arrow. Oh, there's something else inside the locker that has blood on it. It's a watered up ball of duct tape. I wonder what this is used for. And is that a blood stain?
See.
If it is, that means it must be related to the case. The duct tape related to the case is related to the case somehow. But how could it possibly be involved? I think that's all the locker has to offer for now. Is something wrong?
Very strange.
It's very odd, don't you think? The locker was hiding items that were clearly related to the case. But how did the key to the locker wind up in the victim's room?
Why?
Or perhaps... Yakuya? Forget it. Come on. We need to continue on to the next location. Huh? What next location?
What?
There's something there's still something we need to look into. We need to do more research on Fenrir. Fenrir? You mean the mercenary group that Mukuro it was a part of? But how are we supposed to find out about that? Isn't it obvious? Where in the school would you go to do research on something? Research. Are you talking about the archive? That's right. The archive has all kinds of info that the general public doesn't have access to.
Let's go.
We only have so much time before the trial begins. Let's hurry. I believe there was a fire related to Fenrir somewhere over here. Actually, hold on, let me check how many tweet bullets I have. 17? Christ! Yeah, this class trial is happening soon. I believe there was a file related to Fenrir. Yeah, okay. Bayaka seemed to know the archive like the back of his hand and went straight to the shelf in the back. Ah, here we go. He quickly returned with the file in hand. Okay, before this, I was told that this nigga makes an appearance in Danganropa 2, and apparently he's really different, so it could be related to the case, or not this case, but it could be related to what happens at the end, so who knows. Alright, whatever. Let's take a look at this. I have no idea what it says. What language is this? How did you make it all the way to high school without learning a single word of French? I'm pretty sure most high schoolers can't speak French. Well, whatever. I'll read it to you, but I expect you to repay your debt 100 times over. 100 times? Isn't that kind of extreme? No. What you mean no, nigga? Fenrir is an elite fighting unit based out on the Middle East. Okay. Unlike military contractors, they're a fierce group of soldiers who engage in direct combat. They claim that a single member is equivalent to an entire company of regular soldiers. Just like Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok, this mere presence is enough to strike fear into any enemy. They would have been involved in countless military battles. They have been involved in countless military battles and operations, most of which are highly classified. However, some time ago, they completely ceased all activity. At present, their continued existence cannot be confirmed. There are unconfirmed reports that the key members of the group were actually all neutralized. Rumors indicate they were killed to keep from revealing the many state secrets they'd acquired. Some, however, believe that the group was mounting internal tension within the Some, however, believe there was mounting internal tension within the group, and they simply imploded.
What?
What is it? It all just sounds like some kind of Alternate reality? Well, it isn't. This is our reality, the only reality. These people are part of our world. Their battlefields aren't much different from our lives here. An unpredictable, unimaginable world. That's what makes it all so exciting. Exciting? Definitely isn't the word I would use. So, did anything jump out at you? This may be your last opportunity to learn about Fenrir. I think you mentioned it. The report said something about where the name Fenrir comes from, right? That's right. It said Fenrir is the wolf of Ragnarok. Speaking of which, would you like to know something interesting related to that? To show what they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body. What? They got a tattoo of Fenrir? Could that mean... Mukuro Gosaba's profile. There we go. See? Class trial, baby.
Time is utterly silent, and yet it constantly assaults us, organisms, the earth, natural phenomena. It damages us little by little until the end. You should really think about that. Anyway, it's time to begin the class trial. So, please meet up in the usual spot. See you later.
Erasmo. Then the time has come. All we can do now is try to uncover the truth during the class trial.
Right.
It would seem that way. Let's go. Alright, I'm gonna save, and I'm gonna end the stream. Of course I wouldn't end the stream. Why would I do that? Am I some sort of idiot? No, I'm kidding. Wow, only 3? Whoa, Byakuya and Makoto oh, okay, never mind. Showed up together. Where the heck have you two been? You just disappeared without a word. We were investigating, of course. How could you not figure that out by this point? Makoto's ranked high enough for you guys to go off together? Just the two of you?
Huh?
What? Are you jealous?
Hey.
Or are you making up some kind of creepy fantasy for yourself?
What?
Stop talking and brace yourselves. He'll be here any second. Any second. He could show up at any time. When I imagined what was about to happen, I immediately tensed up and prepared myself. But... we stood there for a full 5 minutes, waiting for something weird to happen. And then 5 minutes became 10.
Why?
What's going on here? Why hasn't Monokuma shown up yet?
Could it be?
Maybe he died again? What should we do? Should we keep waiting for him here, or... oh, there he is. Or what?
What?
Jesus! Did I scare you?
Come on.
I demand an explanation. Why did you waste my time and make me wait like that? What? I made you wait? You've got it all backwards. You're the ones making me wait. Huh?
In other words...
I'm waiting for everyone to arrive. We can't start till everyone's here now, can we? What are you talking about? Everyone is here. We've all been waiting for you. Sorry, but you're wrong. But I've been waiting 10 minutes now, so it's okay if I punish the one making us all wait, right? If we all agree it's a violation, I'll arrange a punishment right now. If it's me you're waiting for, I'm here. When we heard that voice, we all spun around to look. Baby girl! Woo! Yeah! Come here, baby! Kyoko, you're still alive? No, that's a ghost! Stop talking. If you want to fight, dun dun dun, shut up. If you want to fight, do it at the class trial. You need to save some of the fun for later, right?
What?
But is it okay that there is no particular penalty for being late?
Is that right?
I made it here just fine. What school regulation did I violate? Am I wrong? You're so selfish, so spoiled. You're right, there's no penalty, officially. But I bet you'll be sorry later. No, I'll make sure you're sorry later. Anyway, hustle your butts onto the elevator. I'll be just one step ahead of ya. When Monokuma was gone, we all rushed up to Kyoko. Kyoko! So you really didn't die?
Indeed.
Of course I didn't die. Thank God, I'm so glad you're okay. Perhaps, but that's not necessarily a good thing for us. Huh? He's right. Now we gotta deal with a ghost. I told you, stop talking.
Let's go.
Let's just go. Whatever we need to discuss, we can do it during the trial. Without ever looking directly at Kyoko, Byakuya stepped into the elevator. Master, wait for me. Good call. Who knows what might happen to us if we take too long.
But...
I'll be happy when this trial is all over. One after another, everyone piled into the elevator. But I couldn't help myself. I had to talk to Kyoko before the trial started. Hi, Kyoko. Listen, before we get started, I have to ask you. Where have you been this whole time? You used that key of yours to go somewhere, didn't you? So...
Correct.
I went to investigate the second floor of the dorms. The second floor?
That's right.
There aren't any monitors or cameras there, so I was able to avoid Monokuma completely. Of course, I also missed this announcement because of that.
Whew.
I had no idea a body had been discovered. Then, when did you find out?
So...
Just now, I finished my search and came back down, just in time to hear the class trial announcement. I took some time to go over the crime scene first. I can't go to a trial completely uninformed, can I? So that's why you're late.
However...
I'm sorry I kept you all waiting. But, if you were on the second floor of the dorms, then that's the key you found, then that's what the key you found goes to?
Wrong.
Actually, to be precise, not quite.
In other words...
I used Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. What? Thank you, Kyoko.
Just a second.
Oh, Christ. Hey, what are you two doing? Hurry up before we get in trouble with Monokuma!
Makoto.
We can go all over the details after we get through the trial. Okay, Makoto? Right now, I just want to focus on surviving our current situation.
It would seem...
Because this is probably the single most crucial moment so far for me. For her? That's a strange way to put it. The class trial is important to everyone, right? So why would she say it's a crucial moment for her?
Goodbye.
Well, if that's all. Seemingly unconcerned, Kyoko made her way onto the elevator. I'm just overthinking what she said, right? I'm gonna save. Actually, no, I get to save right before the trial, so I should be fine. Being the last one left, I stepped into the elevator. And the door slid shut. This time, the clunking was loud enough to hurt my ears, and the dread began to consume me once more. I can't ever imagine getting used to the mental pressure that comes with preparing for an execution. In that dusky darkness, nobody said a word. We just stood there, silent and still. And after an immeasurable period of time, the doors opened without warning. A dazzling light penetrated every depth of my eyes, but it wasn't the illuminating light of hope. It was the blinding light of despair. Oh, wow.
I can't wait! I can't wait!
I feel like I've been waiting forever since we've got together like this. The time is pointless. The time for pointless jokes and jabs is past.
Thrills! Chills! Kills!
Kills! And so, the curtain opened for the 5th time. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal. A deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith. A deadly class trial. Yes, I do want to save. Thank you very much. Memories flow back. Kyoko is gone, and a mysterious masked body appears. The threads holding them all together to spin and twine into one. Handbook. Okay. No one knows who it was. Prepare to be shocked. Thanks, Erasmo. Due to the explosion, the victim's identity is unknown. I mean, I'm thinking it's Junko, but she's probably, well, she could be dead, but seeing those nails kinda doesn't make me, like, you know, it doesn't assure anything. Erasmo, shut up. Actually, hold on. Before I start this, I'm gonna look at Junko. I'm gonna have a full body shot of Junko. Junko Enoshima. I need to look at her boots. Would you look at that? The boots are almost the same. And so are the nails. Who would have guessed? Because I had my suspicions that it was either Kyoko that died, But then looking at the nails, it almost seemed like if it was Junko. Looking at the boots, I thought it was Kyoko. Looking at Junko, her boots literally are the same red laces, the same like little tacon they have, all that shit. So, stab one single time, which went completely through the body. Does that mean she joined Fenrir like right then and there, or like before then? I fucking knows. Okay, let's see. The explosion has burnt the upper half of the body beyond recognition. The upper half is on fire. It had to be extinguished because this is soaking wet. Okay. Fingernails, tattoo, the bomb. Sprinklers. Makoto waits for the morning announcement. Makoto and Hina arrive at the dining hall, 7:30 to 9. Makoto meets the others in the gym and together they headed to the headmaster's room. 9. Toko is told to find a pickaxe when she discovers the body. The knife around the body is the same knife used to stab before the explosion. There was also the same knife that Toko had given to Makoto. Okay, the tarp. Chickens. Fuck it, I'll just look at it during the case because I kind of want to just get this over with. Okay, let's see. Anything for me other than these 2 skills I have? Oh, I can use this in BTBs? How can I use these in BTBs? What the hell? All rise. I don't like this.
Let's begin with a basic
explanation of the class trial. So your votes will determine the results.
If you can
figure out who done it, then the only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one... Oops.
Then I
will punish everyone besides the Blackens. And the one that deceived everyone else will graduate.
Okay,
Very well. I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
My guy. She's standing right there.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
No, that's a ghost.
Alright. Okay, now thinking about this, thinking about it now, I would be really happy if you're the one who killed the person. I doubt it, but still. Man, you should have fucking died. I don't want your stupidity fucking ever in my ears again.
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
Nice.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Same, honestly. I've listened to Hito's bullshit throughout this entire game, and hearing it even more makes me want to fucking kill myself.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her traits?
One important trait that Kyoko proves that the body doesn't belong to her.
I got
Her
it!
gloves, obviously.
I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
Oh.
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
They probably just got burnt up in the explosion.
Shut up.
I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
There's no way the corpse is Kyoko. But if I can prove why, we're gonna be stuck here and the case will move forward. So I don't have any choices but to... Okay, yeah, non-stop debate. The fake nails, right? Tattoo on the right hand. Oh my gosh, already? It has to be fake nails.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion?
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
I know. I know that body isn't Kyoko's, I can prove it.
That Kyoko there.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove
The
it.
dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt off in the.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
No, that's wrong.
Objection, you dumbass.
No, there's no way the corpse was wearing gloves. Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hands, right? It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails, don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
I doubt you know them any more than I do.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Thank you, Morgana.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
I know, Byakuya.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there. Okay, how many bullets do I have? Sprinklers, tattoo on right hand, exploded body analysis.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right?
And the one thing I can tell us was on the victim's own body. Well, then that just makes it seem like
really
it's
is still alive. Then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition.
No, I know it.
Shoot!
Okay, then I must be the other one?
If Kyoko really...
Then who died?
There's gotta be... I don't think so. The face was scorched and there wasn't any description in the Monokuma. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Oh, thank God.
No, that's wrong. There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real?
No, I'm kidding.
If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
She's just being stupid. Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog? Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Oh, really?
If I compare the tattoo to other information, we have the victim's identity should become clear.
I got it!
Oh, let's go.
The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
The image that represents Fenrir is... Yay! Not falling letters. Letters.
Hangman's Gambit.
It's a wolf.
I got it!
Now I understand.
Now I understand!
The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf.
Hey, Enrique should know about this. What the heck?
He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Enrique should definitely know about this.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo.
I mean, Henry. Shit.
Then that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf. Which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right.
No, it's Henry, Tony.
Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
No, I didn't get it right the first time.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a coup-last trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
Maybe we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
Who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed. Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
Fair, yeah.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character? Which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster after all.
No, the headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
Oh.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost.
Shut up.
Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this. No matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
Ooh, that's how you know I'm serious.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope! There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
Huh?
Me and Kyoko, bet.
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
Based on what we know, there can only be two suspects.
I got it!
Obviously, me and
You've narrowed
Kyoko.
it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
Oh, I've never seen that face.
That's right. The four of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the four of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
Exactly so.
The only suspects now are me and Kyoko. Damn it, I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
No, I'm thinking about going over there and getting on my knees and sucking your cock. Of fucking course I am, you dumbass.
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body? Oh, but what time did we find the body?
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
I got it! The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Now then, Toko, what time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock, so it's probably 9 on the dot now. Okay, go get the pickaxe and be back here by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. But I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember checking right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Oh, my bad.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
The murder happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m., and I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. till 7:30 a.m. Okay then, it looks like the game has begun. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, then I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have an alibi. To do that, I have to make clear when the body ended up in the garden. Oh? What are my bullets? Because I'm actually kind of confuzzled right now. Sprinklers, body analysis, fragments near body. It has to be the sprinklers, right?
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time.
Okay, it has to be the sprinklers because if it were to happen, there we go. See what I mean? If it were to happen at 7:30 or before then, that means that the body would be completely wet. So that's wrong.
It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of it.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
What?
Shoot!
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay, then never mind.
No,
That was hard as fuck.
Actually, the murder couldn't have happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right?
Get it, Makoto.
So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on! I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? You saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words!
That's disgusting. The mouth down south? Ew.
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler, are you trying to deny my entire existence?
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
I need to prove that it wasn't the sprinklers that got the body wet. All I have to do is hit Toko with certain evidence and that should do it. If we look at the body itself, that should make it clear. What, bullet time battle? It is. Bet. I love these shits, bro.
I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! I don't know anything! Hold on! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I hate you. No, no, no! How can you say it wasn't?
This should prove it.
Alright, cool.
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers. The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac! I'm so sick of her.
Me too, buddy.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
Kyoko's the only one without an alibi, which would mean that Mokoto's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone? That's...
I'd just like to say one thing.
Oh?
If you vote for me, and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
Huh?
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone.
Get it, baby girl!
This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
Oh, she wants to duel.
A trap?
We're this far into the game, and now you decide to blame me?
Who said we were blaming you, bro?
Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
Anyway, Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all. And as a result, we were forced into another trial, something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Oh, you trying to throw me under the bus? After all we've been through.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, But that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Oh, the tarp!
Interesting. I'm listening.
All it would take is covering the body with a certain something to keep it from getting wet.
The tarp, bit.
I got it! You're talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick.
Yes, I do.
You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water.
Hey, bro, we gotta... we doing this, Kyoko? We doing this, ho? Bet, nigga!
In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water.
Makoto, if you don't come at me, bitch, I'm about to fucking... Woo!
The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she make it? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the tarp must have touched the body, right? That means that it had to have hit some of the blood. But the body...
Wait, something's not right.
And what might that be?
Blood, bitch! I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. If I refute what Kyoko said... Body before explosion. It has to be the body before the explosion. Come on, bitch. Give me that. Give me that. Give me that.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side is because the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp...
Oh, Makoto's
it was
talking
totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water.
No. Fuck.
Shoot!
By covering the killer prevents...
So the reason that is because the spring...
But the underside, it was totally...
It's because that side, since it was faced...
Of course it didn't get dirty!
I remember the blood on the body hadn't dried yet. Byakuya even warned us not to touch it to avoid getting any blood on us.
By covering the body with the tarp,
The killer prevents...
Kyoko, he's really hoeing like this, huh?
But the underside, it was totally...
It's because that side was... Since it was facing down...
Of course it didn't get dirty!
Which, don't you just love that? Would you just look at it?
By covering the body with the tarp, the
Give me
killer
some extra
prevented it
seconds.
from getting...
So the reason the tarp was only...
Because the sprinkler got...
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless.
It's because that side was protected since it was facing down toward the... Of course it didn't get dirty!
Bitch!
No, that's wrong.
It's every nigga for himself now. I can't rely on Kyoko.
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
But if they were to wash it, then that means that they would get rid of the dirt as well.
If they had, they would have
There you
washed
go.
both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Huh? The blood was camouflage?
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
That wouldn't make sense, though.
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
The nurse's office.
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office.
I got it! Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So, someone killed a chicken and then covered the body with its blood? Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense.
Which is?
You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body.
That's actually really smart.
But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so. Wait, no. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping it. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off. But the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body. They'd be done in no time.
Maybe, but still.
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
What the fuck?
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
Why are you so pushy on me, ho?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
It is possible, but that's not the case.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
And the suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand. Disguised dead body.
Well then, it looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it?
I want to actually fucking shoot you in the head.
Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No.
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
Oh, they're gonna fucking try and pin that shit on me too.
The one we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right? According to the Monokuma file, the knife went all the way through, from front to back. So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important. Now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it? We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do. I don't want it anyway, so what to do? Why don't you hang on to Makoto, blah blah blah.
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah.
Then why did you hide that fact?
It's not that I hid it. It's just...
Come on. I couldn't be sure of what exactly happened last night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Considering everything up until now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. Okay. Fragments near body. Body exploded. Exploded body analysis. Disguised dead body.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one that we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it!
Fuck you.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Thank you, brother.
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Fuck off. We've already established that the coat was put on the body after the tarp was removed, which means the knife was thrust through the coat into the body.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one that we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it?
If he did have that seals it.
Just because I had that automatic...
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
Let's get it, boy!
No, that's wrong. Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her!
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
What you mean, nigga? What you mean, so what?
So, when we discovered the body, the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
The victim was stabbed twice in the same spot? No, there's no way that's possible. The exact condition of the body written down was written down for everyone to see.
I got it!
Simple.
The Monokuma file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
Man, you really are retarded.
Then the knife
was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kind of goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden like that?
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle cause an atomic level spontaneous combustion!
I honestly think you're fucking retarded beyond help.
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Thank you, Morgana.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
There's only one explanation. Okay, then it actually makes sense. Where is this?
I got it!
Full fucking hearts of influence. Fuck you, Kyoko.
We found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural. Because, of course, We saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
We need to determine what ultimately killed the victim. I need to concentrate. Monokuma File 5? That has nothing to do with that. Okay, I have to remember something.
Then, shall we continue the debate?
Okay.
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, what is on the Monokuma file, just to be sure? They were dead, however, dead before the blast, which the body. There was also an object, in the head with they've also been struck in the head with an object about as thick as a metal pipe. The body was covered with other wounds, but they at least were several days old. Okay.
According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Why on the back?
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
The knife was a cover-up and all those other wounds on her body weren't fresh, which only leaves...
Then, shall we continue the debate?
Hold on. Why can't I look at...
The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
Uh-huh.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Oh, but like, that doesn't make sense to me. Which only leaves... But what does that leave? Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined. The explosion didn't kill her for sure, I guess. Well, yeah, she was already totally dead when that happened. And it wasn't the knife because of the knife, right? Then there's only one other thing. Oh yeah, according to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head, and more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her body. And that was a cover-up, and all those other wounds on her body weren't fresh, which only leaves...
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't me because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. Yes.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to them, that's gotta be it.
There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Shoot!
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
Shoot!
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Shoot!
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
Shoot!
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right?
No, fuck.
There's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah.
Wait.
According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal...
The explosion didn't kill...
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that...
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh, yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
I got no fucking hope.
Then shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined.
Thank Christ!
Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon? The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
Man, you really do need some fucking help.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
Please do.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
I got it!
Let's go.
Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something, and that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
Arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
Can I look back? Okay, good. It actually is kind of strange because if you think about it, as thick as a metal pipe. If you got arrows as thick as a metal pipe, my guy, unless you're talking about the thickness of the metal pipe itself, as thick as a metal pipe, that means that the arrow has to be so big that like your normal PVC pipe, if it were metal, would probably be what would kill her, but that makes no sense unless they were all like balled up into something.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not backtalking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for doubting it, but there's one more thing about that weapon. One more secret. The balled up thing of duct tape. Puto. Jackie, get the fuck off me. Bloody duct tape. It has to be the bloody duct tape.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
But
You sure?
I just lost 20 seconds because of my
You
stupidity.
don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh!
It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
What they said? They fucking, taped them together.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
I'm putting on a jacket, sorry, it's really cold in my room right now.
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled up wad of duct tape. The killer probably uses duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe.
Oh, so they have no point. Okay, then yeah, it would make sense.
And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Why you don't stutter when you do that?
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto? What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to. The death of us all, remember?
Of course I remember.
You gotta be brutal with it, bro. It doesn't matter. Forget about your feelings about this stuff. Forget about your feelings, bro.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give up.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something.
Right here, right now, nigga. If you don't tell me, you fuck.
Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
Now, that pause makes you seem sus, my guy.
What?
She was protecting me? Then does that mean she chased off the killer? She knew I was being attacked, and she came to my rescue? Could that be when... Which would mean that Kyoko, she killed someone for me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
That's not.
Wait. I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting ridiculous.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know?
Oh? What? Byakuya should know better than anyone? What does that mean? Oh. Alright, how many bullets? When the body was found.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
Jeez, he would definitely hide shit from you, bitch.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Wait, Kyoko gave a room key to Byakuya, right? Which would mean,
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer.
Erasmo, if you don't like how long it is, bro, scatter, my nigga. Like, this, like, you know? Down in hall, I'm gonna go to the gym. Okay, so that means I have to...
You should understand that more than anyone here.
I'll take however long I need to, Erasmo. Lick my nuts, my guy.
Master would never hide something from me!
There's
Scatter.
proof that you aren't the
Skedaddle.
culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
That's one long-ass bullet.
Those words you just spoke.
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me!
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
No, that's wrong.
Sorry, Byakuya.
If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Huh? Why not?
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
I see. So that's what you meant.
Oh?
And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us, an obvious lie. But this just isn't like her. To try and save herself with such a desperate lie? Does she really feel that threatened? Because she's the killer? Or is it something else? Was there a deeper meaning? If you over me and I die here, the mystery of the school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen. This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us. The trap. The mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko. And fuck you, Erasmo! But what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I... The mastermind's trap? The victim was Mukuro, and Kyoko killed her? What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The mastermind's trap. If you spend all time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if the risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? What do I do? I have to decide right here whether or not I should expose Kyoko's lie.
There was a lie hidden within Kyoko's statement just now.
Oh, Christ.
A lie?
Isn't that right, Kyoko?
You said it. The burden of proof is...
And it's too late to save now. Oh, fuck. If I have to close app, I'm gonna close app, bro.
So let's hear it. Where's this lie, then?
It must be because there's something deeper than the truth she wants to keep hidden. Okay, Makoto. I'm following I picked up what you put down, so tell me.
I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya.
I can hear
There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Then, when we searched Kyoko's room, how else could the key have gotten there?
Someone other than me must have put it there. That's the only explanation.
Kyoko told me herself before the trial started that she had stolen something very important from the headmaster's room. Let's actually look into that. Kyoko used Monokuma's secret tool. Huh? Yeah? Alright, sorry for that. Something came up. Okay. We'll grant to Monokuma a secret tool, which any room to sneak into the second floor of the dorms. The area seems to have no monitors or security cameras. She had something hidden very important from the headmaster's room. Okay.
I didn't have the key to my room because I'd given it to Byakuya. There's no doubt about that, right?
You are correct.
So I couldn't possibly have gotten into my room.
Boom!
No, that's wrong. No, Kyoko could have gotten into a room. You said so yourself, didn't you, Kyoko?
I'm sorry for leaving! Actually, to be precise, not quite. I use Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. What? Okay.
Monokuma's secret tool?
Kyoko stole it from the headmaster's room. It lets you get into any room in the school, which means she could have used it to get into her own room.
Then I guess that's it.
Oh.
You're giving up just like that? You admit to killing...
No, I'm simply recognizing that I lost.
What are you talking about?
Like I said, this was a trap, and I wasn't able to escape it. So I lost.
What?
That's all this means.
Bitch, what you doing turning around?
Then, are you saying you really didn't... Kyoko, you really aren't the killer?
Okay, time's up!
No!
Huh?
I'm sorry to say, but your time is up! All done, all finished. The class trial is all over.
Okay, but what if... Okay. Shit!
But that's ridiculous! Since when is there any...
It's because you were late, so the trial started late and time ran out! So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you! But
What
I
if we don't put the lever?
already know who the blackened is, don't we?
And why are you being so pushy, Monokuma? There's so way more evidence to be fucking used. Oh my Christ, dude! Do I have to close out? There's no way. Good job, you got it right. Brilliantly right. Got it right? Does that mean Kyoko?
Now then, I prepared a very... Let's give it up!
What? No, stop, no, no. What? What do you mean, damn? Man, Kyoko is super thin. What? What?
No! This isn't right!
What?
Makoto, why are you staring off into space? Don't you have a rebuttal for Kyoko's claim?
So clearly that was the wrong mistake. Or not the wrong mistake, that was the wrong thing to do. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill. Okay, but I won't cap. Her execution was kind of cool. I ain't gonna cap. It was. What the actual shit's a fucking fuck? What the fuck just happened? I gotta get that shit out of my fucking. What the fuck just happened? What the fuck? So clearly I was fucking wrong. I was wrong that she fucking. Okay, fine. Makoto, you fucked up, but I fucked up too!
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Can we just talk about how Hina turned into the mom? So there was a baby Byakuya, Makoto, and Hiro? Why would she allow that to happen? Why? Whatever. I ain't even capping. Whatever. I've made a mistake. That's my shit.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the mastermind set for us. So that's why this has to be...
Okay, time's up!
Huh?
Time's up! Class,
What?
What do you mean time's up?
Okay, good.
There's no time's up. Since when have we...
it's because you were late. So then, it's time for voting.
Okay. We're just not gonna vote, right? Right?
Now, who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
How about if we don't just pull our levers? How about
Hey,
that?
hold on!
Oh, Makoto.
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
Sorry.
Yes, and... Yep. Hey! Shing! Thrills! Chills!
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Let's give it everything we've got! It's punishment time!
What?
This is...
Why did I skip it?
It would seem...
What the heck?
In other words...
Nah, hold on. I gotta watch this. I don't know why okay. Only reason I skipped it was because I already was like, yeah, you know, it's fucked. They killed me and it's shit. Oh? What is that supposed to mean? Well, that's what. Okay, so apparently he fell back from the thing that was supposed to crush him. Okay, and I swear to God, if Erasmus says another "see ya, mate," next time I see him, I'm gonna make him fucking go to Jesus. Cause I'm gonna go fucking insane from that shit. Fuck off. See ya, mate. I can see his fucking. That shit fucking pisses me off.
Calm down.
That's okay, we're not the ones being trapped in this time. Okay.
In other words...
Now it's the mastermind that's ensnared. What are you talking about? You'll understand soon enough. Very soon indeed. Okay, so Makoto, give me a one-on-one right here. The massive high school towers all over the... It's like the school stands at the center of the world. Oh my Christ. Hope Peak Academy, it brings us government-funded school of privilege, and that's what they say when you come here to graduate for the best life. So what makes Hope Peak a fitting name? There are two things you need to attend the school. Once you have to attend the school and what you're doing, blah blah blah. And standing there to get it, blah blah blah. Yeah. What? Where am I? I woke up with my head resting on a hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It was weird, like I zonked off in the middle of some boring class or whatever, but... What was I doing here just now? Is there any classroom I've ever been before? What the heck is going on? Whoa! What the heck? Finally, feel my mind and body start to come back together, and then I was awake. Or was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless school? Or a nightmare? No, this isn't a dream. I can tell because this is the stench evading my nostrils that was way too powerful for a dream. What an awful smell. It was a vast, dark cavern and the barest hint of light seeping in. Trash was piled at the area. Okay, blah, blah, blah. This must be the underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in, but that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in here till I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remember all too well what happened. That was Chihiro! Oh my god! Chihiro! Alter ego! What the fuck? Baby boy! He used the last bit of his strength to do it. So I can't give up now. For myself and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First, I was up to look a way out of here. Okay, so that was Chihiro. I completely glossed over the whole... Okay, so I was too busy yelling at the fact that Erasmus was being a cunt, which he is, or was, but at the same time, I was also, what the fuck, what the hell, what the fuck, what is going on? I'm going fucking insane. What does this mean? I know this is the garbage pit, and okay, so Alter Ego actually was able to sneak into the network, and after that, Christ have mercy, he was able to sneak into the network, and they were probably deleting him, and he realized, oh shit, they gonna kill my nigga, so like, may as well. So that was Chihiro. Good shit, Alter Ego. Fukion. This is an airplane. There has to be something to wind up the school's garbage pit. The Monokuma rocket from the beginning of the thing? That's a rocket and a tank. I better not think too much what I'm seeing down here. This is a desk. It's probably the one that fell down here with me and then leaves the elephant in the room. It's locked. No matter how many times I pulled or clicked, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't going to be easy. Well, I'm going to get out of here anytime soon. I decided to look around for some food. Okay. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next, I search for water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink and which ones are bad, are all bad? Again, pointless. I feel like I'm blocked on all sides. But it's still another reason because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. And making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted, and that was the only way to preserve what little strength I had left. And after not being able to eat or drink, I can't be sure, but at least a full day has had to pass, and all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to calm down falling out of the sky. However, well, far from the sky, it was the key, right? Please be the key, 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 be the key. What the? The strange sound pierced the isolation, drawing me awake. What the heck? Trash. Something from above could it have been? Obviously, I have to check the trash. Actually, I stretched in my hair.
Just a second.
A giant piece of trash. Rude. What?
It smells
Lamau?
awful.
Hey, what you doing here, baby?
Indeed.
You look like you're doing better than I expected. Hey, what are you doing here? Is it obvious I'm here to help you? I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You got a bit of garbage in your hair. She gave her head a quick, sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then faced me again. First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. Thank you. I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way towards my stomach. Ah, that really hit the spot. Now that I've got that energy, I can keep going. Still, you still haven't given up then. Of course not. After all, the fact that I can keep going forward... the fact that I can keep going forward is all I'm good at. Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. Okay, Kyoko, do you have that key for me? Or for us? But Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me? To pay a debt, or no, to atone. Atone? During the trial, even though I knew I was lying, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that. You didn't abandon me. No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason that I had to survive no matter the cost, okay? Why did you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you everything. The reason I have to survive...
In other words...
is that so that I can do what I came to do... What? So that I can do what I came to the school to do. What? I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for one very important reason. So you have a reason for coming to Hope's Peak? That's right, at least I did once. Once? Until recently, I had forgotten what it was. You forgot, but that's... I had no memory of what my purpose was. No memory, that's impossible. Amnesia... Then it really is true. You lost your memory? Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at the school? The first thing. You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and then when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself, a disconnect. Thinking back on it now, at that point, my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to the school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that? Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happened by chance. It seems to be too convenient. Are you saying that you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they do that? The only reason I came up with, because of my purpose and my ability, somehow they would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind... happened.
However...
And it could also mean somehow my memories may be connected to the mystery of the school and the mastermind, which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
Okay, so I just got lagged out of the party I was in. I'm actually really fucking scared because it might stop the stream, and if it stops the stream, I'm gonna be fucking sad. I'm gonna save just in case. If I did that, we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's a chance that the mastermind is actually one of us.
Correct.
Well, don't make it too big of a deal. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind is one of us. And she believed that, then of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself. That being said, there was a limit of what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because among everyone, you were the least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
It's just like the dream I had before, but why did that just happen?
Listen.
Are you okay? Oh yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
Hey.
Even now, I still trust you, you know? It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
Correct.
I know I never asked you to help the right way. I never asked for your help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. You said you had a reason for doing something, so how did that turn out? Were you able to remember anything? I think there's still a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. You mentioned your ability. My ability, what everyone should have known me for. I knew it! Okay, it makes sense. I'm the ultimate detective. Detective. And the reason I came to Homestead Academy, there was someone I had to find in here in the school. You had to find someone? Who?
So...
Well, it was the headmaster of Homestead Academy. Headmaster? Well, why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my Whoa.
In other words...
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's-Peak. Kyoko's dad is Hope's-Peak headmaster. And that explains when Alter Ego told us that he thought the headmaster was involved. I'll find a way.
Huh?
No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
No matter what?
The cost.
So,
Kyoko, what's going on? Erasmo, I don't even know if you're saying damn just to say it, or if you actually don't know. Or if you didn't know. My memory hadn't come back at this point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense. But listen, Makoto, I want to make this perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said that what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then, what did you see in there?
So...
The room had been ransacked, the shelves were a mess, the check drawers dumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been there. You mean the mastermind, right?
It's true.
That was my assumption, yes, and to confirm my suspicion, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I found. But why there? Because I had also found this in the headmaster's room. This is some kind of map?
Indeed.
A layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room along with Mukuro's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor didn't know. Okay then, well, there you go. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time, and I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that were true, that room would most likely have clues, so I went to check. And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered what my purpose was to find the owner of the room. So when you went to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there...
However...
But once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So what was it like? That part of the school, I mean. It's hard to describe. All I can say is... The moment I saw it, I realized... Whatever's going on in the school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
So...
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself, and I'm sure you'll get the chance soon enough. Sounds like it must be really important and really ominous.
However...
Of course, yeah, which is why I had no idea what was going on with the rest of the building. It has to do with Mokuro Ikusawa, doesn't it? Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but...
Anyway...
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of Mukuro Ikusawa was to get me killed.
Indeed.
I stole the key and disappeared. In a retaliation, they wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew that they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Hope's Academy at your discretion.
In other words...
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with that rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it. The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules. It makes it sound like the mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
Hey.
There's one thing I'd like to point out about the murder of Mukuro Ikusawa. That's that. There was a point where Mukuro may have not become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. And that's what you... And I could have become... Okay.
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean... During the night... I can hear them, you know? The footsteps of the God of Death. What? I can hear the God of Death as he moves. That ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
Anyway...
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
Correct.
I ran into your room and saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However...
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... Whoever the master assailant was, they ended up dead.
Correct.
And their murder was disguised. The dojo key wound up in my room. It has to be the work of the mastermind in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean that whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind,
Indeed.
right? I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if true. That means the mastermind who can kill whoever they want whenever they feel like it. Wait, but doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right, that is a contradiction. And it's not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but it seemed ready to kill you in your own room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So what does it all mean?
In other words...
It means that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more, and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not?
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused the event.
That's right.
What happened a year ago? The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. Whoever's responsible for that. They're the ultimate despair? The despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair.
Indeed.
Then make no mistake. They're the root of all evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy. Six? That just makes us, right? Except for Mukuro? G-Minor Rocket Present. 5 alive. Okay. Kyoko, Mi, Byakuya, Hiro, and Toko. There's someone else, right? Kyoko, Makoto, Byakuya, Hiro, and Toko. 5 people. There is one nigga extra. A group of people who caused the tragedy over 1 year ago. With those same people put this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the Mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right. You know what? I'm gonna go take a fucking piss. Whole thing is a fucking dumbass situation. What the fuck? Why did this all have to happen? Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room? Of course I do. It's absolutely vital to the part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. And it can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
And then we should be able to use it on that door, right? Okay, well then... Hey Kyoko, we can use that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Let's find out. Kyoko took the key out with the Monokuma design on it and set up the keyhole on them. Let's get it! Yes, it opened.
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good. We made our escape from the garbage pit. Now it depends on where it leads. Finally, we were finally free. But then there wasn't even a time to take a breath of relief. Because the real fight had just begun. Oh, ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. There's 5 people we have to fucking go against. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up, like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up to the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. The ladder was impossibly long, I couldn't even see where it ended. We climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were down so far. Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful. But now that you said it, I'm getting kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off of it. Kyoko, so there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So...
Ever since I can remember. I came from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family always saw it that way. Then, is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. Huh? But how come? That's like your family's tradition, right? So...
Right.
Because we take pride in it. Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the rest of society. Which is why we've made a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort?
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational, but it's our family's creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because, like I said, it's our source of pride. Pride. So that explains. Before I came here, when I was looking up info on the school online, I never saw anything about her. Because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However...
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh?
In
order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I did it knowing something a true Kirigiri detective would never do. But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak, it was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my dad. Huh? But you'd be reuniting after all those years, right? Yeah, you would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However,
There's something I want to say to him, though. What?
I...
No matter what it takes, I have to find him. I'll tell him face to face. What is it?
So...
I want to sever all ties with him. Sever? The last time I saw him, I was still very young. I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented. He had a promising future. But he had no interest in detective work. So he cut himself off from the family. Not long after, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument. As young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I would have never had the chance to become a detective. I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression, so I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, and what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was, compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional. Don't blame him, you know, he had his own life to live. That's what everyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true. But there's one thing that I can never forgive. Really?
So...
The way everyone else looked at me, I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing. But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different. They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. And that's how they see me even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow.
Correct.
That's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. In order to settle the past, in order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family, to cut him out like that.
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey.
Is blood really enough to call someone family? Only connected by blood, and not by fear or soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that, I didn't know how to respond, so instead, I said nothing. I just kept climbing the ladder in complete silence, and after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top. Damn, bro, that must suck. Looks like this is it. On the other side of the door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground? Oh shit! I'm fairly certain that's where we'll come out of. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing. I reached my right hand up and pushed against the hatch. The hatch opened with ease, and so looks like we're back. But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted. I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in Hope's Peak Academy. Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor. So, now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out, I'm worried about you too. You helped me, so they might.
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then...
Let's just get a concrete answer.
In other words...
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. What? That's...
However...
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time till we're found out, and there's no way we can run away. She said that. She pointed at the nearby surveillance camera. So you're saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry. What you think is going to happen, isn't it?
Because...
The mastermind isn't the one that's ensnared. Or the mastermind is the one that's ensnared. The mastermind's ensnared. You said something like that before. What does it mean?
So...
The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into Mukuru's death. There was a moment where the mastermind let their guard down. There was?
Right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it'll be better for us to go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help our negotiations. I'm still a little... super uneasy about this, but we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym.
Go?
Let's get going.
Well now.
Hey! Kyoko, I don't mind so much.
I don't believe it!
But Makoto's supposed to be dead! What's he doing here? That's exactly how I thought I'd react. Are we really gonna be okay? You were supposed to be punished! Did Kyoko help out?
What?
So what if I did? What would you do?
Shing!
If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I gotta punish you again, and this time I won't leave anything to chance. Kyoko, do whatever you feel you have to. What?
However...
But before you do, let me just say one thing.
No,
if you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right? Huh? I lose?
Hey!
You, explain yourself. What do you mean by that?
Because...
Well, you set up this latest class trial yourself, right? You wanted an excuse to kill me.
In other words...
I suppose I was supposed to... and then executed, right? Hey, what are you talking about?
However...
But then Makoto chose to overlook my lie. Your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
Right.
And in response to that unexpected development,
Indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto as the Black and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation. No, more than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However...
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery. Alter ego. You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come out of a being that could come to our aid, and even after you'd killed it, right?
Am I wrong?
Now, here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Mukuro. You did.
Listen to me.
So executing Makoto for it would be would surely be a violation of our rules, which I know you love so much. If the Black End is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that means I lose? You talk a big game, so you're saying the Black End is me and not Makoto?
Well?
And you can prove this, right?
Well...
No, I can't. Don't just say it like that. What is this? A comedy routine? To make such bold claims without a shred of evidence.
That doesn't matter.
I don't have any right now, but with a little more, I can guarantee you'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there is only ever one absolute truth. And now you're talking like some kind of famous detective type.
Because...
If Makoto really was the killer, he would have never come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you love so much to inspire.
However...
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
What the heck?
And that's supposed to be enough to convince me in the absence of evidence?
Indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince. If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased. Huh?
Indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. They would assume that you killed him because what we said exactly is right. Despair can never kill hope.
Hey.
Of course, you can say we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove this wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair fair and square,
that's what we have to do.
then I suggest you take my advice. So, what is this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Mukuro's trial over again. Only this time, you follow the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair. Hey.
Well, that would make a proper climax, wouldn't you say? A fair trial, one last showdown. In other words, this would be our chance to expose the true identity of Mukuro's killer and the mastermind themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept the challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word. Interesting.
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed. Alright, Teddy, calm down.
What's wrong?
Oh, I was getting bored, so I decided to change things up a little. So, time for bear jokes. Now that you suggested there might be possible. Now that you suggested, what you suggested might be possible. It would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
In other words.
Does that mean you accept?
You guys!
If we do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? And it would cause your unbearable despair, right? And I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory?
I can barely contain myself!
Let's have one final grisly showdown. He agreed. Then we still have... Okay, hold on. Let me check how much better I have. Fuck.
Barrett!
But this is a long way to climax, right? Guessing the killer is barely a fitting ending. So this is the final face-off. You'll have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries? That's right. Every last mystery that's pawing around the school. If you can do that,
I can barely contain myself.
Then that'll be enough to qualify as the victor as you.
It's true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along. Okay, well, good then. Then let's bear it all. If you can claw your way out of the truth of Mukuro's death and solve the mysteries of the school, then you win. But if you can't do all of that, we all face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we've uncovered every last truth, how would the ultimate despair reveal their own despair? I honestly can't believe how this all turned out.
Hey.
But before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held.
What's wrong?
I remember that for sure, so what?
Hey.
I just want to confirm, that is what you said, right? And it's a true statement? You don't have to be so suspicious, I've said it before, but it bears repeating. Everything is based on the school regulations. And having a trial for Mukuro is no exception for that. Huh? Mukuro's trial is no exception, then it's a part of regulations. Which would have mean that whoever killed Mukuro... It's a very polarizing approach, I know, but okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but... The killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope Speaks the killing game began are those 16 students. What?
Listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why do you go all quiet all of a sudden?
Now
I'm done talking. I've got nothing left to say to you. So get lost, would ya? Why so mad? He seems emotionally unstable. Leave me alone. Get out of here. Okay, I'm going. You're really gonna let me go? I don't even care anymore. You're really going to get your punishment later anyway. I need to start getting ready. A super duper extra special punishment overflowing with despair.
Hey.
Come on, Makoto. Let's go. Okay. Monokuma's unstable laughter seemed to cling to us as we walked away. Just like that, we were out of the gym. I could hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. I still have my life, and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than I expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt. I'm saving, and I'm ending it. There's just way too much. I gotta end it right now, I'm sorry. See you later. Bye.